True love is always governed by divine love. Romantic love is very, very dangerous if it is not crowned by divine love. For example, a biblical example, Jacob. Before Jacob met Rachel, where their love was ignited, you realize that Jacob had an encounter with God, where he dreamt that the ladder and angels descending and ascending. He had an encounter with God. He got transformed by God before he found love. That is why it is very, very, very important that you have God at the center of your life if you want to have a fruitful and a successful relationship. So from this point, you can boldly say that the key ingredient, that key agent, the salt-like ingredients that we are looking for is God. The salt-like ingredient that we are looking for is God. Refusing to add him to your relationship is only tantamount to disastrous relationship. That is why we look everywhere and there is breakup and there is heartbreak and there is divorce and people are crying and people are getting mad because people have taken the God factor out, the flavor out, the preservative out of their relationships, and they are paying the price sadly for the choices they have made. This means that instead of the popular notion that it takes two to be in a relationship, it takes three. It takes what? Three to be in a successful relationship. Now, two people can make a relationship, but that won't mean that the relationship is successful. It takes three to make a successful relationship. By adding the key ingredients, then you're on the road to have a wonderful, a healthy, and a beautiful relationship. Now, the wise King Solomon puts it this way in Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verses 9 to 12. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verses 9 to 12. And I read, verse 9. Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their neighbor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to lift him up. Verse 11. Again, if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? I know the heat that he's talking, people are taking their mind elsewhere. But that is not what the point he's making. But let's move on. Verse 12. And if one prevails against him, two shall withstand him. The most important point. And a threefold cord is not quickly broken. A threefold cord. You see the braids that our women do. It is threefold. They interweave it together. That fold is not quickly broken. How much more a threefold cord with the omnipotent God, the all-powerful God? Then it means that your relationship is bound to stand. If you allow him to be at the center of your relationship, then a healthy relationship is what you achieve at the end. So this proves that love can be better explained not in a linear form, that is in a straight line form, from the woman to the man. No. But love can be better explained in the triangular form. That is what brought the idea of the love triangle. A triangle where love forms a triangular form. God is at the apex of the triangle, the top of the triangle. You have man and woman at the sides of the triangle. One thing we must pay close attention to with this triangle is that there should be a flow of love. There should be connectivity between the three parties. If there is a breach in connectivity between one party, there is going to be a disaster. So there are people in relationships, yes, they have that relationship with God, but because there is not that connectivity between themselves and their partners, there is always problem. It is not always about God, because you see, one thing we fail to realize is that God will not do for man what man can do for himself. So God has given us the knowledge, the wisdom to do some things for ourselves. And if we neglect to do that in the name of, oh, we are building our relationship with God, it won't work that way. Aside we being spiritual beings, we are also social beings. And that is part of the entire package. We must live a balanced life. So there should be that connection between you and your spouse. There should be that connection between you and God. Then in that way, you develop the love that comes with it. Now, one thing we must also pay attention to is that God is love. We all know that God is the foundation of love. He is the source of love. Without God, there is no love. So, in getting connected to God, the more both parties get connected to God, the more they get connected to themselves, because they are getting connected to love. And in so doing, they learn the ideals of love.